Hey everybody, this is Sailor Moai here. Just want to give y'all a little glimpse of our situation at the marina. I like this slip, but it's a 26-foot boat and it's about 40 feet from the dock to dry land, and it's really shallow, and it's really hard to get this thing turned in that small a distance, because you really can't go all the way to shore and get this thing turned. So you got to back and forth a little bit. But here's where we discovered that it's so shallow right here. You can just stick the pole down on the bottom and push the boat around. It makes it a whole lot easier. And everybody, both my sons have learned that it's better just to stick it in the water, push it on the bottom, and just push the boat around, and they'll save us a few trips back and forth trying to get this thing right. So can't get close enough to use the pole because of the boat in the next slip. You can't really get a good push off of it. So here we go. This is where he discovered the bottom is right under the boat. It's not far at all. So anyway, check it out. Yeah, see, it's right there. There's hardly any water there. And I'm really the only boat around that can get in there without any issues. So he's just pulling us out. And man, it's so much easier to do that and not worry about backing up and turning and all of that other stuff. And yeah, it was nothing to it once we figured out. Nobody ever thought about using the bottom before, and it's right there under us. So, yep, nothing like I say, we learn something every time we go out. Here's something else we've learned. This is winds coming from the east, and anytime it comes from the east, it's coming straight off the ocean across that large body of water, and that chop is incredible going across there. The last 3 or 4 times we've tried to leave and go to Adams Creek, this is what we were riding across. And this one happens to be dead into the wind and chop straight at us too. So some of those things get pretty big, and we're usually soaking wet by the time we get to Adams Creek. But every time, even if it's like from the east, once we turn down Adams Creek, we can throw the sail up and just a little bit of motor, and it'll blow us right down the ditch, go to Beaufort. That's one of our favorite spots to go, and that's where we was headed this time. We got to go way out in the river to get around that point that's ahead of us there, and so we hit the big chop out there before it's over. It gets kind of crazy. So just to let you know, watch your wind. Yeah, this footage that you're watching here is from, believe it or not, 2 different trips across here. Once with my wife on board, and once with my son on board, and once with the other son on board. So we've been across here 3 times, and we knew we had a rough ride to get over to Adams Creek before we could change directions, and you either tough it out or wait for another day. And it's about an hour across there to that creek. But as soon as you turn toward the creek, the wind's with you, in your favor, the current's in your favor, so it makes sense to go ahead and tough it out, or you lose a day. And what we're trying to do is get down towards Beaufort, so we'll have some nice sailing and stuff going on down there. And yeah, it's tough right there. It's between Havelock and Oriental, that part of the river, and the wind really kicks. If it's the right direction, it kicks up the surf pretty hard.
Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me? All of the noise turned into choirs of harmony. Left me with the pieces of forever that you broke. But since you left me alone, I've been high.
Well, we got a new dinghy. It's a 12-foot boat, much skinnier than the old one, and it's got a soft bottom. It really goes better with our little 2.5 horsepower, and I really like it. And we can roll it up on the deck. Well, here we are down in Beaufort, and going to our favorite breakfast spot there, the coffee shop. They got some pretty good breakfast sandwiches and stuff on bagels. We really like that place. We've been there several times. Yeah, we saw the mast on this boat. It had to be 110, 100 something feet tall. So we walked around the corner there after breakfast to check it out. Man, this thing was massive. My boat wouldn't even make a good dinghy for this thing, but look at this mast on this boat. It blew my mind how big this thing was.
Over
while we're down at the docks, you know, you got to go down through there and check out everybody's ride, see what they're doing and what kind of boats you might see, because some of these things are really nice. I enjoy looking at them. Some of them are older boats that's been fixed up really well, and I just couldn't get her at end boom furling main, 3 up front there, just all furlers. It was, I'm pretty sure they're all push button. So I'd like to take a ride on it one time. But I like this boat here too. It was really nice, set up really well. Never been to Beaufort, need to go. They've got all kinds of stuff to do. Lots of tours of the local islands around there, and the Horse Island, and all out through there to the Cape with the lighthouse and everything. They got tours going out there every so often. It's a neat little place. I really like it. It's one of my favorites. Let's get back to the boat, do a little sailing, see what we can come up with today. It looked like it was going to be a good day, perfect wind, fairly calm seas, so we're just going to head out on the boat. So we pulled anchor, set sail out toward the Moorhead entrance to the ocean out there, and kind of snaked our way out through there. It wasn't real strong coming out through there. There's a lot of buildings and islands and stuff around, but yeah, that was the beach that we stopped and cleaned the hulls at one time over there.
Right.
We're leaving out, getting close to the shipping lane there.
That's
and, headed out.
Ready
and it was nice.
Okay.
More is on the other side of it.
Yeah.
We're out in the shipping lanes here, and Moorhead City's back that way. What? And I see a big one coming there. I can't tell if it's going away from us or coming in, but I hope we're well out of the way before it gets here. But yeah, you can always tell them buoys get really big. Back there's Beaufort.
Don't call it Beaufort.
And this is, where are we going? Cape Lookout.
Yeah,
we're headed for
Cape
Cape Lookout, which is way out across the water there.
And that would be...
What island is that?
That's a bank, something bank.
Coral Bank?
Forebanks.
Or is that?
Forebanks is on the outside.
Yeah, that's on the outside.
This is another one. So we're going on the outside of that.
Outside of that one. So it looks like we do have a ship coming our way. So we're gonna have to do something. I'm not real sure what. So I'm gonna drop this camera for a minute and see what we got to do. There's the alarm again. Water.
See another dolphin?
Yeah, right beside us, just about.
Some breakers over there.
Yeah.
There we go. There's some wind.
Where'd it go? Dadgummit.
You never know. They're chasing fish. They could be in Georgia by now.
Yeah.
You can tell the wind wasn't all that strong, but man, look at the ocean out there. It was a pleasure. It's one of those magical sails that we get every now and then. And man, it was beautiful out there. Dolphins, which I could never catch on the camera, but they were there.
Like
We managed to bypass that ship coming in. The wind started filling in as we went.
Man, that's what I've been aiming at.
I hope he don't start chasing something. We'll be all messed up. Man, that dinghy pulls so much better than that other one did. Well, in this conditions, I guess it just about
Yeah,
happened.
we need to see. I think we could still rip a D-ring off.
Oh yeah, and they don't have D-rings.
Let's got a couple on the side. Three on each side.
Yeah, we wasn't breaking any records going out through there. I think we did run around 5 to 6 knots, 7 occasionally on a gust, but man, it was beautiful out there. That's one of the prettiest places I've been in North Carolina, and you just couldn't ask for a better sail. And, it was just, it's hard to describe.
Well, folks, there's another adventure on Sailor Moai. Whew. Yeah, we didn't have but a few days. We left here in really bad weather, and it was head on into it to get down the river to the ditch. Once we got in the ditch, it was great. It's amazing how the tree line and stuff changes the way you do things. We threw the mainsail up and took off down to there 7, 8 knots at times. Man, it was nice, and all the way down to Beaufort. We sailed into Beaufort, sailed through Beaufort, and out the other side, turned around, dropped that main, and then came in and anchored. And then we had a request from a neighbor said she had a lot of road out. I didn't. It's only 10 foot deep and it's very protected, and I wasn't sure why she had that much road out, but she was scared she'd swing into us in the middle of the night when the tide changed. So we got up, moved around, got behind her where she couldn't get to us, and re-anchored up and spent the night there. Went to a great Mexican place there. It was great. Great restaurant. Next morning we got up, got our act together, took off. We were going out to Cape Lookout, where the lighthouse and everything is. You need to go there. That's the prettiest place. I'd have never believed it was in North Carolina. It was amazing. It really is amazing. And went to the lighthouse, checked that out. There's an abandoned what do you call, Coast Guard place there. We walked around in there and looked at it, and walked the beaches, and lost the dinghy. Like idiots, we didn't tie it to anything, and the tide came in, it floated away. If it hadn't been for some good Samaritans on a boat out there that saw it, brought it back to us, we'd have been without a dinghy. And then I just had got it out of the box the day before. It's brand new. So we finally got that back. Got back to the boat. We couldn't even get to the boat. My son was thinking about swimming to the boat, and I said, no, it's not with the tide coming in, and it had just been really hard to get out there. I didn't want him to do it. I knew I couldn't do it. So anyways, them people were kind enough to bring her dinghy to us, and we got back. And we got the bright idea we'd go back around the back side instead of going back the way we came, which was a beautiful sail. One of the best sails I've ever had on the ocean side. It was gorgeous. Sea state was perfect. Wind was perfect. It was great. And but we wanted to go see what was around the other side of this island. There's Harker's Islands on the other side. And we didn't know it, but they were dredging the channel when we got back there, so we had to go around them, and it was so shallow that I had my son up on front of the boat with a pole trying to find the bottom, because my depth sounder quits at 2.5 feet, and it was less. And there was places where we didn't have a foot of water under this thing going across there, and we were poking along with that stick, just barely moving, trying to figure out how we get through, which took us hours to do. Finally got back in the channel, and there's something going on with the crab pot people. They hate my guts, I reckon, because they put them things everywhere out there. We were dodging them like crazy. And we got out of the channel again somehow after we got by Harker's and headed back to Moorhead. We got out of the channel again and got on a shallow spot. My depth sounder wasn't working because it's less than 2.5 feet, and all of a sudden the waves started breaking both directions, and they hit right under the boat. No, we didn't have a camera on. We were a little bit petrified, I guess would be the word. But I feel like if the waves hadn't hit when they did, we'd be stuck on the sand right there until the tide changed. And so we made it on in. By then the wind was getting up, and they had forecast the next morning being 26 miles an hour. And so we wanted to get back on the anchor quick as we could. And sure enough, at night it was howling through there. It was crazy. And this morning they were calling for 38 knots of wind coming through Beaufort down there, and we didn't want to know part of that. So my son had to go to work, so we had to get back. So last night we took off from Beaufort, and it was only 24 knots or something like that. And we bounced our tails across that open water until we got to the ditch, and it was rough, buddy. It was rough. We were soaking wet. I'd left the side hatches off so it wouldn't get hot in there. Well, water got all in the hatches, so we ended up having to dry them out when we got back. And we went all the way to Adams Creek, where Adams Creek hits the river, and we anchored overnight there because of the protection in the ditch is great. So it was like a pond out there sleeping last night. It was great. And this morning the wind changed almost 180 degrees, so it'd be blowing with us coming into Bishop's, and a lot lighter wind too today. So we took off out there, but it took us about 45 minutes to go from Adams Creek down to Bishop's, and it was smooth. We was surfing the waves coming in here. I think up to 8 knots. We got 8 knots out of it surfing, and it was great. And pulled in here, and I did it again, folks. I got it in this slip, didn't hit a thing. It was wonderful. So y'all stay tuned. Please subscribe. It helps the channel so much. Give us a thumbs up, comment. Right now I'm just a tired old man. I'm ready for some rest, and we'll check y'all next time, and do something you love.